I traded my childhood violin for a rusty trumpet. And 14 years later, those 4 little notes taught a nation how to breathe together. My name is Arlen Muir. I used to think a life is measured in trophies and programs. Now I know it's measured in what you're willing to let go, and what music grows in the space you clear. The day began with a click, my metronome on the dresser, marking seconds like rain on a tin roof. I'd polished my violin until the violet ribbon on its case shone like a thin road at dusk. My father tied that ribbon the week before he died. It still smelled faintly of rosin and orange peel. At the station, the notice board flickered. Conservatory auditions canceled. A burst pipe, a power cut, a reason that felt like a mistake aimed at me. I stood there with a case full of years and nowhere to open it. That's when I heard the trumpet. It wasn't good, it was honest. The notes scraped like a match trying to find fire. On the steps sat a boy. Thin jacket, eyes like late winter, working a rusty trumpet with a mouthpiece dented at the edge, right where a lip would bleed if it forgot to be careful. "Name?" I asked. He lifted the horn and said around it, "Ilyas Kade." He played again, 3 searching notes and a fall. I knew that fall. I had fallen there all morning. "What are you trying to play?" I asked. "Something that makes the morning stay," he said. "Something a street can hum." I stared at my case, at the violet ribbon, at the empty day inside the word canceled. I did the only rash thing I have ever done slowly. "Trade," I said. He blinked. "You're joking." "I'm not," I said, and my voice scared me with how steady it sounded. "Take the violin. It will ask you to be careful and it will reward you when you are." "I'll take the trumpet. I won't keep it. I'll keep you practicing for a week." He shook his head. "Why?" "Because someone tied this ribbon for me," I said, "and I don't know how to carry it today." We walked to Myron's Music, a narrow shop that sold strings like prayers and oil like memory. Myron barely looked up. "Don't argue," she said, sliding a small bottle of valve oil across the counter. "Just breathe into what you have." In the back room, I showed Ilyas how to shape air without apology. We cleaned the valves. I sanded the mouthpiece edge until the dent felt like a story, not a wound. And I taught him my father's 4-note lullaby. Low, low, lift, low, a little hand climbing a stair and stepping back to make sure you're still with it. "Those 4?" he asked, lips bruised, eyes bright. "They feel like a streetlight that waits." "Keep them safe," I said. They kept me. That night, I left the violin with him. I walked home with the trumpet in my hand like a fragile lie I would soon undo. At my door, I tied the violet ribbon around its bracing. 1 week, I promised myself. Then I'll return it. I'll go back to plan-shaped life. I didn't. Kindness is not clean. It leaves fingerprints. It also makes room. Ilyas practiced mornings on the river wall and nights on the bridge where trucks drummed the undertow. He took factory shifts that sanded his fingertips into quiet courage. He failed auditions that measured more suit than soul. He learned theory from photocopied pages stapled crooked, intervals and inversions and ways to carry sorrow without dropping it. He kept the 4-note lullaby in a pocket notebook, written in pencil, the paper water-warped from a storm afternoon when he played anyway. I took a job at the city library, shelving scores whose notes I could hum but no longer claimed. At night, I held the rusty trumpet like a confession. I oiled what could be saved and listened for what could not. Shame is a poor conductor. It buzzes and gives no pitch. So I learned a different music. Quiet, repetitive, sturdy, showing up to hear Ilyas try again. We built a little school without a sign. Kids came with borrowed brass and palms chalked from work. We taught scales like footsteps and rests like breathing. On blackout nights, Ilyas wrote marches with drums made from buckets to keep people walking together down dark streets so no one fell alone. The city began to know his sound before it knew his name. Then the river rose. Streets turned into versions of themselves you could mistake for strangers. After the water walked back, the country asked for something strange. A new civic anthem. Not a war song, not a hymn, a home-finding. Music that could carry a town from muddy boots to clean floors without making anyone change shoes. Composers sent grandness. Ilyas sent people. Melodies you could whistle while hauling sandbags or blessing bread. His draft made the shortlist. In a borrowed hall, he set up a folding chair and tried to finish the thing that had taken the long way to arrive. It refused him. Every time he reached the heart, The melody either spilled too fast or stood too proud. In the middle, he said to me, miserable. I'm missing the little turn. The four-note thing. I lost it. I only remember the way it waits. He had given away the notebook and a coat he later donated. The water warp had swallowed the pencil. Memory hummed the shape, but not the step. Then the music will remember you, I said. Be patient. The city will hum it back. He shook his head and went to work. 14 years after the station, a hall full of chairs faced a new flag sewn from old cloth. They called the piece Common River. I stood outside with no ticket, my name unlisted, my courage a little thin. Through the doors I saw Ilyas. Older now, shoulders learned to carry applause without letting it live there. He didn't see me. He shouldn't. The story had learned to walk. A guard at the side entrance said, "Closed." I stepped back into the evening, where the balcony rail ran like a staff across air. I set my fingertips on the cold metal and let them tap the shape we knew. Low, low, lift, low. Da-da-da-da. Inside, I saw Ilyas pause. His head turned the way a dog tilts when the old house settles. He lifted his baton, then lowered it. He looked to the balcony like a man looking into a well and hearing his own childhood answer. He closed his eyes. His left hand made a small square in the air, the size of a violet ribbon's bow. And then he wrote the missing turn. Not with ink, but with an entire orchestra learning how to be gentle and vast at the same time. The first violins began like morning light finding dust. Clarinets threaded warmth through ache. Then the brass, my God, the brass, stepped forward carrying buckets of sunlight. And at the heart, the four-note lullaby rose. Not a lullaby anymore, but a lantern held high enough for strangers to become neighbors beneath it. People didn't clap at first. They stood. The peculiar holy standing that happens when a room agrees that something has been set down carefully and also lifted up. After, when the microphones were tired and the stagehands were holy in their quiet, Ilyas found the balcony. Up close, we both looked exactly like the years had been honest. He didn't say thank you. He did something better. He reached into his case and pulled out a mouthpiece. The old one. Polished now, but with the ghost of a dent still visible if you'd been there when it hurt. He set it on the rail beside my hand. I took off the violet ribbon I'd kept on my keyring all this time and tied it around the brass. We let the silence do the work. Down on the stage, the last chair scraped softly against the floor. Outside, someone laughed on a newly dry street. A flag moved like a slow breath. Music does not save countries, people do. But sometimes a melody hands them each a small corner of the same sky to hold, and for a minute, no one drops it.